Enoch visited the Garden of Eden and revealed a surprising truth about what the forbidden fruit really was. Most people have a misconception about this. Before we dive into this mystery, welcome to God's Word Unmasked, where we explore the depths of biblical history to unveil hidden and fascinating secrets. If you enjoy our content, we invite you to subscribe to continue receiving enlightening and engaging videos. Today, we will investigate what the forbidden fruit that Eve ate truly was. There are various theories, the most common being the idea that the fruit was an apple, while others believe that the fruit could symbolize something deeper, like the act of sex itself. But the true answer is hidden in ancient writings, and Enoch offers a surprising insight into this, clearly identifying what this fruit really was. What you will discover may completely change your understanding of the story. For those unfamiliar with the story of Eve and the serpent, the Bible presents Eve as the first woman created by God, formed from Adam's rib. She was placed in the Garden of Eden as his companion. However, the serpent, a cunning being, entered the scene and convinced Eve to eat the forbidden fruit, forever changing the course of humanity. What many do not know is that the Book of Enoch gives us a new perspective on who this serpent really was. Contrary to popular belief, this serpent was not Lucifer. Enoch discovered that the serpent who deceived Eve was, in fact, a fallen angel named Gadriel. He was responsible for leading Eve astray and for teaching men the arts of war and weaponry, bringing destruction to the world. Gadriel, one of the rebellious angels, revealed deadly secrets to humanity, and his influence has been felt from that moment until today. This reveals that Lucifer, while being the leader of evil, may not have been directly responsible for Eve's temptation. This detail about Gadriel changes our understanding of the story. Gadriel not only deceived Eve, but was also responsible for introducing the arts of violence and destruction among men. He is mentioned among the fallen angels who rebelled against God and took on dark tasks to lead humanity astray. This revelation opens a new door of interpretation about what really happened in the Garden of Eden and the forces that were at play behind the scenes of this story. Gadriel's presence in Eden shows how the fallen angels had their own intentions in influencing humanity, and this deception was just the beginning of a long spiritual battle that followed. What did Eve really consume that day? Stay tuned as we are just beginning to unravel these mysteries. Eve was living her normal routine in the Garden of Eden, surrounded by everything she could desire, except for one thing: complete freedom. The serpent, subtle and cunning, took advantage of this. Although Eve knew God's command not to eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, the serpent found a way to convince her. According to the Book of Enoch, it was the fallen angel Gadriel, not Lucifer, who deceived her with half-truths, suggesting that eating the fruit would not result in death, but rather in wisdom and power. Gadriel seduced Eve by promising that if she ate the fruit, her eyes would be opened, and she would become like God, knowing good and evil. This classic manipulation strategy made disobedience seem like a path to enlightenment rather than an act of rebellion. Eve, deceived by the promise of wisdom, yielded and ate the fruit, also offering it to Adam. This culminated in the fall of humanity, an event that would change the fate of all their descendants. The question many ask is, what exactly was this fruit? The Bible does not describe its appearance or nature in detail, but the Book of Enoch gives us some clues. Enoch, a figure deeply revered in the Bible for his righteousness and intimacy with God, was taken to heaven without experiencing death and had the unique opportunity to visit the Garden of Eden. According to Enoch, this tree was majestic, with fruits resembling clusters of grapes. The description suggests that the forbidden fruit may have looked like grapes or something similar in appearance. The fragrance of this tree was irresistible and its beauty captivating. When Enoch inquired about this tree, the angel Raphael confirmed that it was the tree of wisdom, whose fruit opened Adam and Eve's eyes to the knowledge of good and evil, resulting in their expulsion from Eden. This vision of Enoch challenges the popular interpretation that the fruit was an apple. It offers a richer and more detailed description, suggesting that the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil was something more complex and shrouded in mystery, directly linked to the awakening of consciousness and the beginning of humanity's fall. Eve, strolling through the beautiful Garden of Eden, was confronted by the serpent, which persuaded her to question God's instructions. Even aware of the prohibition against eating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, Eve was seduced by deceptive words that promised her wisdom and power. According to the Book of Enoch, the one who played the role of tempter was not Lucifer, but Gadriel, a fallen angel who used cunning to convince Eve that disobeying God would make her divine. The story we know recounts how Eve took the fruit, ate it, and then offered it to Adam, triggering humanity's fall. What many do not know, however, is that there are mysteries surrounding the true nature of the forbidden fruit. The Bible describes it as attractive, pleasant to the sight, and good for acquiring wisdom, but does not specify its species. Enoch, in his celestial visions, provides a more detailed description. He saw the Garden of Eden and spoke of a tree whose fruit was like clusters of grapes, beautiful and fragrant. This vision of Enoch may provide a new interpretation of the fruit that Eve ate. Unlike the popular idea that the fruit was an apple, Enoch describes something more akin to grapes. The tree he saw was majestic, its leaves resembling those of the carob tree, and the fragrance of its fruits was pleasant. This description suggests that the forbidden fruit may have symbolized not only temptation, but also the profound knowledge and the consequences that would come with it. Many still believe that the fruit was an apple, but this idea arose more from linguistic and cultural associations than from biblical evidence. The Latin word for apple, malum, bears a resemblance to malum, which also means evil or sin. This connection may have led early Christian interpreters to associate the apple with original sin. Over time, Renaissance artists popularized this idea in their visual representations of the fall, solidifying the apple as the forbidden fruit. However, the Bible never specifies that the fruit was an apple. The symbolism of grapes, on the other hand, frequently appears in the Scriptures, representing fertility, blessings, and prosperity. In Numbers, the spies sent by Moses bring back a huge cluster of grapes as a symbol of the abundance of the promised land. In the New Testament, Jesus uses the image of the vine and grapes to illustrate the spiritual connection between him and his followers, emphasizing the importance of producing good fruit. Moreover, grapes also appear in the context of judgment, as in the Book of Revelation, where the harvest of the earth is compared to a harvest of grapes, symbolizing the final judgment. These associations make grapes a possible candidate for the forbidden fruit, as they are deeply linked to the theme of blessings and spiritual consequences. This idea of the forbidden fruit as grapes, offered by Enoch's vision, opens new possibilities for interpreting the story of the fall. If you are curious to explore other theories about what the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil truly was, many other possibilities, including symbolic interpretations, can be analyzed.